Hello and welcome to LBG Gaming and welcome to this Q&A video. So I had hit the milestone a few days ago of 25k subs, and I had asked last week for some questions if anybody was interested, because a few people were asking me for a Q&A type video. So I got some comments and some questions. I'll try and answer them, all of them if I can. And there are like two posts where people had posted the comments. So I'm going to go over them and answer the questions, and let's get started. So first question is from Carl Johnson Official. At what age did you start gaming and some future plans? I did not think gaming is this cheap, and thank you for saving my money. You're welcome. And yeah, gaming is cheap. I've often said that gaming is the cheapest hobby around overall. The question was, at what age did you start gaming and some future plans? Start gaming, I would say around 9, 10-ish, 10 I would say. Because basically back in the late 80s, early 90s, I had come across some games and some consoles. I had a non-working Atari 2600 at home. I never saw it working. I had this uncle, basically my father's friend, and he had a Sega Mega Drive at his home. So whenever we went to visit or something, I would try and play something. And he had the Outrun game on it. And that was probably my first gaming experience. And I started gaming. And then a few months later, I got one Sega Mega Drive for myself as well. So I got Sonic the Hedgehog, Strider, those games. So yeah, about 10 years old. Next is from Gabe Dig. What made you make your channel sale-based? Was it just a gap in the market you saw? No, not really. When we start our channels, we have different ideas. I had no experience of making videos or anything. So I started with some Let's Plays, mostly because I wanted to play some games and also wanted to see if there's any scope with Let's Plays and just to learn editing and all those things. Now, as I started making the videos, I started, making occasional other types of videos like, hey, this game is free on so-and-so platform. And this game is really cheap. This is a good game. Check it out. When I started making those videos, I noticed more people were interested in those and I was getting more views. After a while, like I think it was maybe summer sale. I think my channel got a boost during the winter sale 2017. I started making those usual sale videos. And yeah, I got a lot of views. Like normal videos, maybe they got like 10, 20 views. And those sale type videos, they were getting like 800,000 views. So started doing that. After a little while, channel grew quite quickly. Yeah, I asked people a few times like if they wanted to see gameplay videos or just sales and deals videos, and most people wanted just sales and deal stuff. So that's why I stopped doing the Let's Plays and stuff and moved them to the other channel and just focused on the sales and free games and things here. So yeah, I did not particularly see a gap in the market. Like if it was possible to see a gap in the market and to predict what interest that would have, it would be a lot easier. Next is Anand NW. Top 10 or 20 games or even more is fine you've played till now that you would recommend. Oh wow, 10, 20 games. I'll just try and list them off the top of my head. Should I keep them recent or should I go back? But what I'll do is I'll try and keep them from 2010 onwards, I would say. So I would say the Assassin's Creed 2 games, all three of them, Ezio trilogy. That would be good. Dishonored, Far Cry 3, Witcher 2, Witcher 3, Max Payne 3 is also decent. I'm trying to go by ear. Black Flag Assassin's Creed was good because I was playing those games quite a bit back then. Deus Ex Human Revolution was really good. I really enjoyed that one. Most of the stuff after I've made the channel, I've played. Doom 2016 was good. Then more recent games, you could say Greedfall, Plague Tale Innocence, Bullets per Minute, Iron Fury. Yeah, it's strange. I can't think of too many off the top of my head, even though if I just look at my library, I have probably hundreds and hundreds of games that I've tried and played. Darkest Dungeon, I like that quite a lot. SnowRunner, Mudrunner, those games are good. Assetto Corsa, Project Cars, if you like sim racing type games. Forza Horizon 2 and Forza Horizon 4, I would say, as arcade racers. I haven't played much of 3, but I've played these two a lot. I would still say Forza Horizon 2 was my favorite, surprisingly. The setting was good. It was more fun to play that game. I don't know if you just want PC games, but if you want PlayStation games, I could say the three Uncharted games, the first three, they were really good. Ninja Gaiden trilogy was decent. Again, it's on PC now, so that's multi-platform. Yeah, hopefully that was enough. Obviously, if I take a little more time, I can, you know, recollect hundreds more. But these are the ones that just sort of come to mind. Stardew Valley, Graveyard Keeper, stuff like that. Next is from Vivek Das Gupta. Why did you change your channel logo? The previous one where you had a cartoon picture of yourself was very cool. That was just like my sister had made something for me, and I wanted to make the branding a bit more simpler. So when I put the LBG on like the top corner of the thumbnail, people can instantly know that is one of my videos. So it was just a matter of convenience, really. Simplifying things and, making it easy to stand out. Next is from KP. Would love to know about your student life and life while you were in the UK. And have you ever played Dota 2? No, I have not played Dota 2. In fact, I don't even know what Dota 2 looks like. Like if somebody showed me gameplay, I wouldn't be sure. Would love to know about your student life and life you were in the UK. Yeah, life was good in the UK. Student life was really good because I was like an average student here in India. But when I went to the UK, I actually enjoyed the education there. Mostly because it was much more focused on the subjects that you were studying. And there was no fluff there. You were not studying unnecessary subjects in like engineering or something. Like, when here in India, if you go into engineering or something, the first year is filled with the rubbish that you don't need. And the rest of it is theory. They don't teach you that much practical stuff, like at least in most places. Now, people who haven't studied abroad, they will say, no, our education system is great. Mathematics is great, I would say, here. But everything else, practical stuff isn't great. We don't have the facilities unless you are at a very high-end school or something. I've seen electrical engineers who come out and they can't replace, the wiring behind your switches or something. So it's generally not that great. So yeah, the point is they're not teaching you worthless things that are not related to the subject, especially in like postgraduate or graduate school. And they're focusing on all the subjects that are part of that. And that was really useful. But at the same time, they also have a lot of fluff in like degrees that are just fluffy. There's nothing there. But again, that's up to people who are, going for the education. If you go for engineering and stuff like that, then I think, yeah, education is really good there. And life in the UK, life was good in the UK. I like the weather. I like the just general feel of it. There's a lot of multicultural element there. You meet and, interact with people from all over the world. And yeah, it was generally a nice experience overall for me. Then it is Muntazir Hussain. Hey LBG, who according to you are actual gamers? People who play and stream only PUBG, BGMI for views, are they actual gamers? See, I've never had an issue with people playing any game. Play whatever you want, and if you enjoy them, it doesn't matter. And personally, I'm of the opinion that you shouldn't care what people think. Just enjoy your hobby, enjoy your life, and you'll be fine. Now, the question is, some people, they stream PUBG and these games just because of the views. Like I've seen few people, like people using cheats just because they were noticing a trend where they could, grow and make some money. They did not care about gaming. They weren't gamers really. People who didn't even know how to, what was going on. They just I've even seen people who were caught cheating like while live streaming. So yeah, those people were not real gamers. But anybody who enjoys any game and plays it, they're fine. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's PUBG Mobile or if it's like a Dark Souls type game. There's no qualification saying this is a game or this is not. Anybody who plays a game, you play Candy Crush on your phone, yeah, that's a game you're playing. So yeah, that's a game as well. So yeah, anybody who enjoys a game is a gamer. Any game. Next is Navneet. Hey LBG, been watching your channel for like 3-4 years now. Great going. Question. Would you recommend any good resources to understand very basics of one gaming PC build, understanding the best synergy between various hardware components, and 3, how to understand whether a hardware component is priced appropriately for its specs, essentially understanding how a certain component is priced. So basically related to PC gaming, PC building. So what I would say is the best way is to, build PCs and do it yourself. So if you have like a spare PC at home or like an old PC, try working on that, learn a bit about that, see how you can make it useful or something, if you have one, or like an old laptop or something. Maybe, pick up the laptop and put an old operating system, maybe put a Linux on it, one of the Linux distros. See, because you learn more in the process of doing something than actually being taught something. Or what you can also do is like not or, but and I should say, watch PC build videos on YouTube, because there are plenty of videos like people assembling and making entire PCs. So that will be very handy for you, because when I was doing this, we did not have these resources. Now you can go and see hundreds of videos from experts showing you how to build PCs and show you. So yeah, just enjoy the process of watching these videos and see what you can learn, and you learn something interesting from a lot of people. So yeah, that should help. But yeah, hands-on experience, I would say an old PC that isn't used or something, play around with it and you learn the most that way. Next is Nikola Todorovsky. How old were you when you started making YouTube videos, and what motivated you to keep making videos? How old? I made the channel about less than 5 years ago. So I was about 35 then. What motivated you to keep making videos? It's just the fact that I enjoy gaming and I like the community, the small community that I have. So yeah, as long as it's a positive experience. It is frustrating because of YouTube and occasionally people that come on the channel. But generally, I enjoy gaming. I have been gaming. So as long as I'm gaming and it's not like, too harmful in the sense that it's like too much stress or, mental health becomes a problem, I don't see myself not making videos. But I'll try. Of course, things can change. You never know. Okay, next is, do you have any plan to give new Hitman games a second try? Yes, definitely. I mean, I own the game, so I would love to get back, because Hitman games were one of my favorite series back in early 2000s. So I would definitely love to try it again. It's just that when you make content for YouTube, sometimes things don't quite work out for you in terms of the game you want to play and the game you want to present and make content for. It is a tricky balance. So I just couldn't. And also, like, sometimes you move away from certain genres as time goes on, and you may also be interested in other things at different points in time. So yeah, back in the early 2000s, I enjoyed Hitman. Now it feels a bit slower paced, but again, depends on the mood. Like more recently, I'm into ARPGs now. I want to go back and play all the Diablo type games. So I've been going through and buying games like that. Okay, next is Soltin On. What are your future plans regarding this channel? Will you start making videos in Hindi too? Future plans, I'll try and continue this one as it is. Maybe I'll have more sort of discussion, rant type videos, because people seem to like those, and opinion videos tend to do better. So I'll try and have one of those every now and then. I'm also like focusing on streaming a bit more if I can, like on Twitch. I have started the Twitch channel because the server seems to be like working in India. So I'm streaming there, and I'll try and see if we can make this a full-time thing. But yeah, it just takes too much resource, and my biggest problem is always the power issues. So if those are stable and I can stream, so I'll be streaming more and making more content here. And of course, I've got the mobile channel, all those channels. So I'll try and make a little bit here and there. But yeah, main is this one, and I'll focus on streaming. The rest of the channels, occasionally I'll have something. Next is Kunal Gupta. Will you ever dedicate more time into your channel and post some reviews and stuff more frequently? Yeah, again, like I said before, it all depends on like situation with power, and also like the problem is when you dedicate more time into making videos, you do need some sort of return to justify spending that time. So at the moment, if you just do it for fun, and I make videos when I have time, and although I have a lot of time, it's still like not technically in the sense that I'm full-time devoted to this. Because if YouTube, let's say, goes down tomorrow, it wouldn't be like a source of income disappearing, because I wasn't making much to begin with. But yeah, a little bit that I get helps me buy games and stuff like that. So yeah, I would like to dedicate more time into it, which is why, like I said, I've gone with Twitch as well. So in case YouTube goes down, I have Twitch. If Twitch goes down, I have YouTube. I'm trying to diversify away from the main platform just to see if I can do this. I'll try, but it'll depend. Next is Anubhav Nethani. Hey LBG, can you tell something about behind all these videos and how you got into gaming and what have kept you going for so long? So I guess we answered something similar earlier. What got me into gaming was it just interested me, appealed to me, as it does to most kids. And we grow out of it after a time, like around the age of 14, 15. It was like normal that, yeah, gaming is for kids. I mean, people still have that misconception. So around the time I got into high school, I stopped gaming, packed up the Sega Mega Drive, and put it aside. Now PC, I got the PC a few years later, and we started playing some games here and there, but it was still like a random thing. I never really sort of thought I would ever be able to sit down and finish a game. It was mostly playing demos and stuff from the CDs that I got. When I went to the UK, I noticed there was like a much more acceptance towards gaming. It was much more common. People would play, that people would have consoles in their homes. So, and then I also realized that games have also evolved and they're now made for like older people, like the Hitman games or like games like that. It's not just about Mario and Sonic jumping around collecting rings and coins and stuff. So it became a little more grown up with the stories and the focus. So that's why it became like, okay, I can return back to this hobby. And of course, when you are on your own, when you get older, you have a bit of money, you're independent, then you start looking back at what to do and you find hobbies. And yeah, I went back to gaming. Next is Jelly Bean Fry Music. Not a question, just want to say I've been watching you for some years and I've enjoyed your content throughout. So keep up the content and thank you. Thank you and you're welcome. My pleasure. Next is Mayank Prasoon Tirke. As a consumer, what is your biggest complaint when it comes to game developers, publishers, and stores? Personally, I think Steam should be better regulated. Penguins Zero said that it is possible to sell an empty folder for $50. I've seen lots of broken and scam games on Steam. Cough, cough, Cyberpunk. Also, gift cards are refunds, as refunds are scams. There are quite a lot of issues. My main concern, of course, is the overhyping and under-delivering, of course. And even that isn't such a big problem for me. My biggest issue is games being badly made. And by that, I mean, when you pay them $60 and buy the game at launch, very rarely do you get a game that is in working condition. And I'm not saying that a game has to be 100% perfect at launch. But what we get is about very poorly made game. And in most cases, if it's like a decent company, it still takes them a month or two to have like a proper working game the way it should be on day one. Now, I don't know why this is the case. Maybe it is just greed on their part. Maybe it's the policies in countries where the games are made. Let's say in the US, the way the system works, they don't have enough money to spend on testing. They skip testing or whatever. That is like the biggest problem. Then we have multiplayer games and live service games. I'll give the example of Apex. Recently, there's been a hashtag going around asking for like the devs to do something about the cheating situation because it's been like 8-9 months and nothing has happened. They have a very sort of, the word they use is band-aid fix for the problems. Servers are laggy. Servers were laggy day one. Like if you go back and see my video from the first day of Apex, I did like a benchmark video, settings video. You can see the lag and the rubber banding in that very first video. And it's still the case almost 2.5 years later. So the problem is they're just focused on making as much money as possible. And the end user experience is the last thing on their mind. Now, if they were improving the user experience, people will stick around and they'll play the game. But they only think short term, make as much money as possible with cosmetics and things. And Apex is $1 billion game, and it's still in such a bad state. So you can imagine, like those are some of the problems. As far as the store thing is concerned, yeah, there are some issues, and Steam needs to step up and get rid of these scams and stuff. But I don't run into these problems because most of the time we don't randomly just buy a game. We go through reviews and trailers and respectable indie games and other places before buying something. So yeah, I guess it is an issue, but it's not something that affects us too much. Next is Omega Stripe. Do you have a top 3 game list that you loved during your childhood? Childhood would take me back to the late 80s, early 90s. So Sonic the Hedgehog series, I would say that was fun. Outrun, those games. Third one. See, the third one would be a little later. But yeah, anything on Sega Mega Drive, I used to play it. Anything that I enjoyed particularly. A cricket game. There was a Brian Lara cricket game that I liked quite a lot on the Mega Drive. Next is Yash Mishra. Hi LBG, subscribe to the channel for 2 years now and love the videos you make simple and easy. My question is, do gaming brands such as Asus, MSI and more purposely delay launches in India for hardware components like graphic cards? Is there any hope for it to improve in the future? We always hear news of all such releases on day one in the US, UK, Vietnam, Japan and others. What are your thoughts on it? Have a great day. Do they purposely delay launches in India? I don't think it's like a purposely delaying, as in more of focusing on their primary markets first. So India is a small market in terms of gaming and these high-end electronics. Although I don't consider this high-end, but it is high-end for Indian standards. Mostly because gaming isn't a big deal in India. So they'll focus more on places where they know they have an existing consumer base. So US, UK places. I'm not sure about Vietnam, but yeah, bigger first world countries, it makes sense. The other thing is, is there hope for it to improve in the future? It will depend on the demand. If there is a sudden demand in India for these components and people are buying, if there is some sort of regulation from the government, like the Indian bureaucracy is also quite slow. So things take a while. I imagine even these companies have to go through channels and it delays processes for them. And then there's tax as well, because apparently everything is considered luxury in India. They just find more ways to tax you. So yeah, it might improve, but at the moment, I don't see that happening, unfortunately. Next is Abdul Azim. Advanced congratulations on 25K subs. Thank you. Can we see PS5, Xbox Series gameplay in your channel in the near future? I do want to get an Xbox because, again, like the previous question, we are struggling with the supply of things. So graphics cards are out of the question, and even consoles are pretty much out of the question at the moment. We briefly have them in stock for a minute or two here and there, and they get sold out. So we'll see if I can even get one. And even if I do get one, will I buy it? I don't know. We'll see. Next is Death V Raider. They say modern video games equal and go beyond movies. Have you experienced any such groundbreaking games? Yeah, a lot of games I could consider groundbreaking. I would say take the early Assassin's Creed games, especially Assassin's Creed 2, for example. The fact that you could walk around in Renaissance Italy, Florence, Venice, a bit of Rome, that was incredible to think of. Like they had recreated a city or like an era within a video game that you could sort of move around and interact with. And they've gotten better at it over the years. Like the scale is now more accurate in the recent games. And Odyssey, for example, with its ancient Greece setting, that was amazing. I've seen historians react to videos like that and get surprised by how good everything is. So yeah, those are quite groundbreaking games in terms of, the experience that you get walking around these worlds. And of course, there are other games as well that have amazing groundbreaking experiences. So yeah, that was one example that came to mind. Next is Yeeted Yeast. Hey LBG, my inspiration, hope you are good, mate. My question, simple, bro. Will we ever know what you look like? Maybe. Like I said, my biggest problems are like power cuts and things like that. So if I do go full time and stream regularly and make this like an income, like a regular thing, and focus on this, then yeah, I'll probably get like a webcam and, do that. I don't even have a webcam, so never actually thought about it. But yeah, I'll see. It depends on like how serious YouTube becomes as a livelihood. Next is G Dastagir. Hey LBG, I love your videos, especially your thoughts videos. Keep doing it. Question, what method do you prefer while buying PC components, offline or online? Actually, the place where I live is where you can't buy latest components. Yeah, I have the same issue. Like we don't have like a lot of the good stuff. And also right now, graphics cards are like difficult to buy anywhere. But even when they are available, offline markets here, they won't have anything beyond the entry level stuff because they only stock stuff that will sell. So for me, mostly it has been online shopping. Like I've only bought one or two things offline, PC case, power supply, things like that. But everything else has been online. Next is besides gaming, Derwolf, besides gaming, what are your hobbies? At the moment, not much. I started reading again recently. I don't watch movies or TV, so I wouldn't consider those hobbies. And outdoor stuff at the moment, again, with the way things are in my city, and of course, the recent issues. So there aren't any outdoor hobbies. I used to collect stamps and coins when I was like a teenager, but haven't really done much recently. I still have my collections, but haven't really done much. But yeah, at the moment, gaming is pretty much the only thing I do in terms of hobbies. Next is A underscore cash. What's your real name? Where are you from? And what your perspective about buying games on sale for budget users instead of piracy? Name, I don't plan on revealing it anytime soon. Where are you from? I'm from UP, India. Lucknow is the city. And what your perspective about buying games on sale instead of piracy? The thing is, there isn't really much reason for piracy if you think about it. We get so many games for free. So many games are like free to play live service type games, and so many are like discounted so heavily with Epic and Steam and things like that that it becomes a little pointless to try and pirate games. Like it's just a matter of convenience now. Like you would get free games from Epic, from GOG, from Steam, Humble. You can build up a massive library just by picking up free games legally. And then the stuff that people actually like playing online, most of it is free to play anyway. So offline games, you can get them free. Online games are free to play to begin with. There are very few games that anybody would really consider, pirating. So at this point, I feel like the excuse for piracy is very, very small. Like even kids who say they are not earning, they don't have spare cash. If they put their mind to it, it's not that difficult. They do get pocket money. They do buy stuff and go to movies and have McDonald's and stuff. And gaming is much, much cheaper than everything else. So if they put aside a little bit, it's not that difficult. Trust me. It's just the laziness, I would say, to pirate stuff now. Next is Summer. Your favorite Halo game and why is it your favorite? I have not actually played Halo, so unfortunately, this is nothing I can say about this. Can you showcase all your free owned games? I know you already done, but it's old. Yeah, it was a long time before even the Epic game started. So at the moment, most of the Epic library is free. You can go to Steam and search my name on the community, and you'll find all the games that I own. Knowing which ones are free or not, I haven't categorized them. Like I haven't done like folders for a while, so it might be tricky. But I would say the number would be easily 300 plus in terms of free games. Next is Sam. What was the motive behind your YouTube channel? There wasn't anything as such. It was just basically, I was a bit bored. I had returned from the UK. I wasn't sure what to do. I was playing games and I thought, why not just, talk about them, make videos, make Let's Plays and see how it goes. And I thought it was something that I do all the time anyway. So making videos wouldn't be too tricky. And yeah, that's how I got started. Which state are you from in India? UP, Lucknow, I already answered that. I know you are making free game videos, cheap deals videos from last 3 years. And now when you see on YouTube, many other YouTubers making shit videos like epic free games videos, fake predictions, GTA 5 free again video, and they are getting lots of views. What are your thoughts? It is a little irritating. In fact, I've made like a separate video talking about this because they do more harm to the gaming community, in my opinion, rather than educating these kids as to like the quality and the gaming industry and stuff. They've made things a bit, weirder, in my opinion. Now, I don't have to worry too much about a lot of these guys because I know as soon as PUBG Mobile or stuff like that comes along, they'll move on. They're not in it for like the passion of gaming. They're mostly there to like get views from YouTube, and they'll move on to something else that will get them views. Then we have Aisha Sheikh. I watch Should You Play It, and they mention you so many times. How do you guys know each other personally? Basically, I just came across their channel a while back, and I watched a couple of videos, and I instantly knew that these guys were making good content. Like, it was apparent straight away that they were making fun, interesting content, and they were covering the review. They were doing reviews for all the free games from Epic, and it just, came across as like a perfect collab opportunity for me, because I thought, look, these guys are doing a great job. They had been making videos for about a year at that time, and they only had 400 subs. I knew they deserved more. The content was definitely deserving of more subs, and I thought, okay, I'll try and help them out a little bit as much as I can, because I was a small channel as well, so I wasn't going to be able to do much, but at least I can show their channel a bit more love, I guess, from my audience. So yeah, I recommended their channel to my subs. Basically told them, like, I tell you about the free games, these guys review the free games so you can see if they're worth playing or not. So it was just like a good match for our channels, and yeah, that's how I got to know them. And yeah, since then we've been chatting and making content. Yeah, and yeah, they're awesome guys, make really good content. They're fun kind of guys you want to hang out with. So yeah, they're like really nice people and make good content. So yeah, I wish them all the best, and hopefully, yeah, they'll be crossing the 25K threshold any day now. In fact, they'll cross me very easily. They've put a lot of work on their channel. So yeah, happy to see them grow. There are a few more from the recent notification, the post I put on the community tab from yesterday. So let's just have a look and see if there's any questions here. All right, so we have Lewis question. Well, let's say today starts a zombie apocalypse, and you can choose 3 items for 3 different games. What would you choose? That's a good question. Obviously, one of the, or this is 3 weapons or 3 items. You probably need a good melee weapon, I would say. So something from Dying Light. When they mod it with like some electricity or stuff like that. There was this Excalibur sword that you find in like the beach area. I don't think it was that powerful, but something very high level powerful with like electricity or something, you get that. Obviously, you would need to get out of dodge quickly. So I don't know, maybe a grappling hook or something would be handy. And yeah, third item, maybe something that would heal you or something quickly, bandage you. Because none of these games seem to have like a cure for the virus, do they? Kind of. Well, Dying Light had it. Yeah, of course, that would be the item you would need, like immunity from the bite. That should be the first item, and then something to fight and something to run away from. So yeah, I think that would be the best solution. Yeah, interesting question. Harsh Mishra, congratulations, man. You are my favorite, my inspiration. My question is, what do you think about future gaming? Because many new things coming out, cloud gaming service like Xbox Game Pass, EA Play, include my question. Yeah, I think what is going to happen is we are in this stage where gaming is becoming more and more available conveniently. Of course, not everywhere, but you'll have the subscription service like xCloud, and whichever one rises to the top, there will be like competitors, so there will be more than one, but xCloud seems to be in a position. There are other services, but what would happen is we could, get the Xbox or the xCloud, whatever, and check out the games at launch day, check them out, play them. And the games that look interesting to us, the games that have replayability, we could probably buy them later on Steam or Epic or something. So that would be like the next trend I see happening. Because I'm kind of already doing that a little bit. Check out the Xbox Game Pass, for $1, play the games at launch day, and the ones that you really like, you pick up on sale later on, like a year or two later, whenever they are available. So yeah, it might be interesting mechanic. And it would help like free to play multiplayer games, like games that are available on the service, people would be able to play with the subscription. And so yeah, let's see how this goes. But I think this is sort of what I see happening. This is an interesting question from Radimus Cisco. Have you ever tried making a game or thought about it? Not really, because I don't really have the experience in terms of coding or something, especially to do everything. But yeah, I occasionally had ideas where thinking like maybe somebody could make a game like this or that. So yeah, I would say I have ideas, but I've never considered making something myself because again, I don't have the coding experience. This is from F to N. How many games do you usually buy at release date, or do you just wait for them to go free? Maybe I would say 3 to 4 games per year would be games that I buy at launch or release date. Maybe mostly indies. And let's see this year what have I pre-ordered or bought. I've pre-ordered Necromunda Hired Gun, and I pre-ordered Kenna Bridge of Spirits. Those are the 2 games that I've pre-ordered. And I just today bought the DLC for Greedfall. Those are the only things that I've bought day one or pre-ordered. So yeah, 3 to 4 in a year is usually how it goes for me. Congratulations, man. Watching you for a year. Keep up the good work. Which game left an impression on you? For me, it's Far Cry 3. Yeah, Far Cry 3 is an amazing game. I would say Assassin's Creed 2 left a big impression on me. Mostly because I was sort of returning back to gaming. I had played Assassin's Creed 1, it was good, but 2 was so much better in every way than 1 that it was just a big surprise for me, like to see how far gaming had moved along. Now, this is like an interesting set of questions. I think I'll wrap it up with this one because Master of Gaming has about 8 questions roughly. So I'll answer these and I think that will be enough because the video is very long. So what is your favorite guilty pleasure game? Okay, guilty pleasure. At the moment, I don't think there is any. But in the past, it's usually been like a small indie game or something that you can play repeatedly. Back in the early 2000s, I used to emulate the Sega Mega Drive game as Brian Lara Cricket. And I would just play it sort of like in a browser type thing. But that was like a guilty pleasure. I would go back and keep playing that. Also later on, things like Test Drive Unlimited. That was a favorite of mine, just driving around. So those have been like guilty pleasure games. Recently, I don't think I have anything that I go back to. I've been mostly playing Apex. I don't know if I can call it guilty pleasure because it is not very pleasurable at times. But yeah, I don't think that there is anything else that I sort of have playing in the background. Do you like licensed games? There are some good ones. Middle-earth Shadow of War games, Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor, those were good. Batman games were good. Mad Max was good. So Warner Brothers has made some decent games that are licensed. If you're talking about other stuff like Avengers and stuff, no, I don't like those. What is your favorite game of all time? I would say Anno 1602 is still the favorite of all time. What's the game you put the most hours into? Apex Legends, easily. What is your top 10 favorite FPS games? Top 10 favorite FPS. I've not actually played too many FPS games in my life. So I would say the Half-Life games, Doom, Wolfenstein, Titanfall 2, some indie games like Iron Fury, Bullets Per Minute, things like that. I don't know if that's 10. I mean, if you count all the Half-Life games, then yeah. What is a licensed game you'd recommend? Yeah, like I said, Batman games, Mad Max, Lord of the Rings, the Middle-earth games, those are good. What are your thoughts on Nickelodeon Kart Racers 2 Grand Prix? I've not played those kart racer type games, so I can't say anything. What is your favorite game from Outright Games and Game Mill Entertainment? Now, to be fair, I did not know this, so I checked, and they make the sort of licensed games for like the kart racer game that you mentioned, Nickelodeon. Yeah, I haven't played any of these games from any of these 2 publishers, so sadly, I don't have an answer for that. So anyway, thank you everyone for all the support and all the questions. Hope this was useful and you got some insight. And yeah, thank you for watching. Catch you next time.